They're witches.
So, apparently I'm a witch.
Cause she's a witch.
We've got a witch!
I'm the love witch.
I am a witch.
I am a witch.
I'm a witch!
Sally just came out.
Now the witch is back!
Yes, indeed. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. The witch is back. Thank you very much to everybody that was just over on our members only live stream. I've just changed the tarot cloth accordingly. I didn't even know which one until I opened it. So yay. Right, let me just show you again. Maybe this needs a little bit of adjusting. I'm going to do it now before. Oops. Are you all right? Okay. There we go. Before I show you all so nobody gets too seasick. There we go. Are you ready? This is the one that that was chosen randomly. Maybe it needs to go slightly more that side. Hold on. I know right. We're not quite there yet. Almost there. Almost there, as the Bishop said to the Pope. But no, didn't say anything. There we are. This is the cloth for the next few weeks. Yay. It's fire and ice and all things nice or something. So there you go. That's what we're going to be using and seeing today. That was the one that was in my left hand when the members couldn't choose. There was two options and the members couldn't choose. Well, they did choose, but it was an equal split. I need to get the what's it called? I need to get the chat up, so bear with me a second, everybody. Sorry for Tuesday, by the way. I was quite poorly. If you were with me last week, you will notice that my voice was going throughout the stream. Watching it back, it's like halfway through, I'm like, and then it just disappeared. And on Monday, I had no voice. Tuesday, when we went to Slimming World, Rufus had to speak for me because I was like this, which was really quite terrible. But we got there in the end, and my voice started coming back this past couple of days, which, as you can probably imagine, Rufus was very happy about. Yes, very happy that my voice was back. Right then, good evening, everybody. Let me just have a look. I've seen that we've got a super chat in already. Let me just see if I can find out why the on-screen chat isn't coming up yet. There we go. Now I've got it. By Jove, she's got it. It doesn't take long, does it? It doesn't take my brain. It's not too fast working out all this stuff. Right, bear with. I've got an issue with the chat box. I'll sort it as we speak. Right then. So, good evening, everybody. I do hope you are all well this lovely Sunday evening. Here in the UK, it's a scorcher again. So, thank you ever so much for taking time out of the time you could be in a beer garden or having a lovely barbecue in your garden, or whatever it is. Thank you for spending time with us here on the YouTube tonight. Of course, you could be in your garden watching us. NY, thank you very much for your super chat. I will get to that very, very shortly. You'll be the first reading this evening. Yep, absolutely on the ball. Good evening to Sarah. Good evening to Patricia. Good evening to Ed. Who else have we got in on the live? Yeah, can you do the YouTubey things, everyone? Good evening to Faith. Good evening to Sarah. I've said hello, Sarah, already. Can you do the YouTubey things? The thumbs up, the like, and of course, if you haven't already, make sure you dong your bell and change your settings to all so that YouTube notifies you whenever we go live. People are strange when you're a trendy flying Doc Martens come out of the rain. What? I've got no idea what that means, Sarah. But we are going to crack on with some tarot reading here tonight. How would you get a reading on this channel? Well, you could do what NY's done. You can send your question through as a super chat. That guarantees the next place on the roster list. We don't actually have a list, but it means that basically you're guaranteed the next tarot reading that I do. If I get multiple super chats in at the same time, I'll go through them in the order they come in. If you don't want to send a super chat, or you can't afford to send a super chat, you don't want to send money over the interwebs, whatever it is, you don't trust Google with your credit card number, whatever it is, that for whatever reason, that's fine. I will open a round at some point. When I do, this noise will play. And that is your cue to pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. Then one of our lovely moderators will take all of those questions, and using a randomizer thingy, different mods do it differently, they will choose which person gets the reading, and they will let me know in our WhatsApp message group, and I will then do the reading for that person totally at random. It means I can't go, oh, hello my friend that I haven't spoke to in a little while, here is a doodah, here is a reading, here is this, here is that. My pentacle is crooked, I've just noticed. Hang on, we don't want anybody claiming I'm, doing Satanist things over here or something, because that would be the most terrible thing in the world, wouldn't it? Yes. Good Lord, can you imagine? Could you imagine? Luckily we haven't had the any weirdos like that yet, but let me very cool. I like a lot. So then there are, by the way, there's a couple of rules. Sorry, my ADHD brain just had to go and answer that private message. That was very rude of me. I do apologize a lot. There are some rules on this channel. They're very simple, but they're very, very important. And yeah. Before we go on, here's the housekeeping. Tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all of your own decisions about your own life. Tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counselling advice. If you're looking for support in these areas, please do seek out professionals in these areas. You do have to be 18 years of age or over to get a tarot reading on this channel. And remember, please don't share private information here or anywhere else on the internet that you wouldn't want anyone or everyone finding out about now or anytime in the future. Absolutely, that is really important. Do not put your private information out on the interwebs, okay? Don't do that, because then random people will do all sorts of things and it's not good. Just keep yourself protected. Now listen, I know what you're thinking. Lisa, we are not children. We know how to protect our online privacy. That's well and good, right? And I believe that you are all very intelligent people, otherwise you wouldn't be here on my channel. You wouldn't be here with us if you weren't intelligent, wonderful human beings. But it can be quite simple to let information out without knowing it, right? So you might say, oh, Lisa, we've moved into that house. The one I was telling you, the one opposite the church, opposite the cathedral. We've just moved in opposite the cathedral. It's such an amazing view. The one with the red paintwork on the outside is really cool. I love living in a big red house. And you go, oh, yes. Oh, that's interesting. No one knows where that is. And then next week's chat, that person then says, oh, Lisa, I'm really loving it here in Oxford Shoeville. And you go, oh, do you? Oh, I'm loving Oxford Shoeville. It's really, it's such a cool place. Fair enough. And then 2 weeks later, they say, I'm going on holiday next week. I'm going to Spain for a week. I can't wait. Right. So now all it takes is a little bit of doing this on the interwebs. I don't mean tickling them. I mean, like, and in Oxford, what did I say? Oxford Shoeville, there is a cathedral. The house opposite the cathedral is red. Someone's just moved in, so they've got lots of goodies like TVs and all of that lot, probably. And that person is going to be away for a week. See what I mean? Through not describing things, you've suddenly giving out lots of information that's easy to piece together. Please protect your online privacy. That's all I'm saying. I know, right? You don't know who's living down the end of you don't know who's living next door. Well, probably do. I know, right? Rufus is just saying you don't know who's living down the end of your road. I know. Invariably, we don't, do we? Oxford Shoeville, what's wrong with that? It's a made-up place, so I was anonymizing it for everybody. Anyway, enough. Yes, we have a super chat in. So for NY, by the way, every time anybody sends a super chat on this channel, 10% goes automatically to the PDSA, which is the People's Dispensary for Sick Animals here in the UK. That is a wonderful charity. They help people with vets bills. They do veterinary care for people that would otherwise struggle. They also take in waifs and strays. If you find an injured animal on the side of the road, you take it to the PDSA. They don't tend to put animals to sleep quite as fast as other animal charities unless it's needed. Do you know what I mean? Unless there's like, you know, a hawk that's had its wing chopped off and is bleeding out, then they will do the humane thing. But they tend to try and keep that to a minimum if they can. So then we do have a super chat in. 10% also goes to a local homeless shelter here in the UK, St George's Crypt. Once YouTube's taken its 30% off of the top end. So that's how we do it here on this channel. So then it's time. We are going to start the tarot malarkey. Just in case you don't know, my name is Lisa. I have been reading tarot for over 30 years at this point. I know these are grey hairs. This is not a blonde streak. These are grey hairs, and I've earned every single one of them. As I say, I've been reading for 30 years. My way of reading is a little bit different than other tarot readers out there, and the readings we do, I won't sugarcoat. I will tell you what you need to know, but it isn't necessarily going to be what you want to hear. Okay, as long as everybody understands that. Obviously you have to be 18 years of age or over, as I said earlier, and tarot is legally for entertainment purposes here on the interwebs. Right then, all of that being said, let's crack on this evening. Let's crack on with the readings, shall we? And I've just realized my lights, I don't think I need the lights on tonight. Do I need the lights on? Probably not. It's a nice bright sunny day here in the UK. It's still nice and evening time, so that might mean we can subtly get away with just this. Here we go then. So NY, let's do your question. Now, as always, whenever we do a reading, I cleanse the space, even though it's the first one tonight, and we bring in Wispy, who is my elemental air dragon. So if you want to know what an air dragon is, or why I speak to Wispy as if it's a human being or something, that didn't quite flip, Wispy, nearly. The details for the podcast episode should be coming up in the chat right now, so do go and check that out. It's also linked down below. So then, Wispy, NY would like to know, what are Joe's thoughts and actions towards them? What are Joe's thoughts and actions towards... Oh gosh, NY, there's lots of cards. That's not a single card flip. Hold on a second. There we go. What are Joe's thoughts and actions towards NY? The other thing I'll do, everybody, is probably an hour or so after the stream, I will add the chapters on, so you'll be able to find each person's readings. I'll do that once we've had dinner, and we have dinner straight after this, because we don't eat until gone 9 p.m. here in this channel. We've had a card not just flip, it flew itself over there, so it was that way. So this becomes your clarifying card. We've got the 8 of Cups as a clarifying card. Now this deck is very interesting. It is the Unfolding Path deck. It's a slightly less blunt, very similar sort of feel to the Fifth Spirit that I love and I use all the time. The Unfolding Path is slightly more, a little bit softer in its approach, still very, very truthful. So what is the 8 of Cups and what is the clarifying card? The clarifying card does exactly what it says on the tin. It clarifies the reading that we're about to do. It's kind of like it gives it a filter. Now this 8 of Cups, you can see here somebody has spent a lot of time stacking these 8 cups. At least they did, because this person in their rush has knocked them over. Okay, so the 8 of Cups is always about the journey to the 9, because the formation, the pattern is never quite complete on these cards. So normally we've got 5 cards at the bottom, and 5 cups on the bottom and 3 at the top, whereas it should be fourth. There's that fourth one missing. Now, this person's haste to get out of here. Let's crack on getting the 9 done. Let's move really quickly towards the 9 of cups. For me, 9s are full and 10s are overflowing. So cups is your emotional energy. So we want to move forward to that happy place, that joyous moment with that 9 of cups. We're so eager to do it that we've knocked down the cups that we stacked. Okay. And this is reversed, which is saying that there is a real issue here about perhaps wanting to move too fast, NY, in your relationship with Joe, right? I know you're asking about what are Joe's thoughts and actions. It could be that Joe is a bit worried about things moving too fast, but I think the way that this card comes up, there's definitely an issue about how quickly things are moving forward. So then, let's go to your 3 cards. So we'll go with what you where you are right now, or where Joe is right now in their thoughts and feelings. So we've got the 2 of Pentacles or discs. We've got what you need to know about what's happening. We've got the 9, but it's the 9 of Swords, and we've got future possibility. We've got another 8. It's the 8 of Pentacles. Right, now this is interesting. Okay, so as I say, I tend to tell it as it is. This is a just slightly softer, gentler deck, but it still lays it on the line, right? So 2 of Pentacles. 2 of Pentacles reversed. Any 2 for me is about 2 things coming together. 2 become 1. It's that idea of, you know, things are, well, if you're in a couple, you become the one person, you know, instead of being Bob and Brenda, you become Bob and Brenda. Do you know what I mean? So it becomes one word that references the 2 of you. This is saying, with this 2, it's saying that there was a connection. The reversal is saying that perhaps that connection is struggling, or even that connection may well have sort of finished now. It may be over, and it's in Pentacles, which normally relates to finances. So it could be that this was a transactional relationship of some kind. It could be that there was a financial element to this relationship, but it could also be, because the way that I see Pentacles, I see them as being very much about growth energy. It could be that there was simply no growth, that whatever happened, I've just messed that up completely, haven't I? Whatever was happening, the 2 of you just haven't had that element of compatibility. Do you know what I mean? It just wasn't there. There wasn't that growth energy coming in with that relationship, and that's why that 2 is there now. And again, this is where you are, where the 2 of you are, what's going on. It feels very much as if this is something that is depicting perhaps an ending, or beginning of an ending, rather than anything moving forward, any reconciliation, any coming back together, especially because in what you need to know, we've got the 9 of Swords. Swords for me is sorrow, it's trouble and strife, it's hurdles, it's challenges. You heard me say at the beginning, the 9 is when something is full, 10 is overflowing. This is full. This is the nightmare card, unfortunately. In a lot of decks, you can see they depict this person as sitting on a bed, waking up at night with a nightmare, or failing to sleep. There's lots of different iconography around that. This 9 of Swords, I think it's a bit of a shitty time right now. Okay, and in terms of what Joe's thoughts and next actions are, it kind of feels as if things are just not in a good way. Let me put it that way. Not just the things not in a good way. I think they're probably as bad as they've ever been or could be between the 2 of you. It doesn't feel as if this is a potential situation that's going to come right. It's not going to come good. There's not going to be a happy resolution here, because this 9 of Swords, it's in the what you need to know. Okay, when we look at it through the lens of the reversed 8 of Cups, it's saying that actually, I think whatever this connection was, whatever this relationship was, it feels like perhaps there was a rush to move forward. There was a rush to you know, instead of allowing things to develop as they could do, there was a rush to move forward in it, and that now seems to have backfired. Again, with this reversal, it seems that I think one of you is more emotionally connected than the other. And again, it feels like now, I would say that depending on whether this was ended by you or by Joe, or whether this sort of moment of separation is done by you or by Joe, I don't know whether you're potentially running after a bad situation with this, because it does feel as if there's almost an urge to run after them and go, oh, you know, come back, I miss you, come back. And it doesn't feel as if that's a good option right now. It really doesn't. The future opportunity position, we've got the 8 of Pentacles. Again, we've got a repeating 8. The 8 of Pentacles, again, it's that growth energy. I think this is really saying, look, this is an opportunity for growth, right? This is an opportunity for personal growth, for personal expansion. This is an opportunity to literally stretch and learn a little bit about the universe. Does that make sense? And I think that might be something which is potentially needed. This feels like it's a lesson here about how the relationship has gone. It feels like this card is saying, look, whatever the connection was, it went sour. It's not a place now that it's going to recover from. It's time to let it go. But you know what? Each of you will be better off kind of on your own for a while, learning from it and growing, because this 8 of Pentacles in this case is giving me growth energy rather than financial energy. I hope that helps, my darling. I really, really do. Let me know whenever you come back and watch this and listen to it. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. And yeah, thank you very much for your question. Thank you for the super chat. That was very kind. Talking about people that are very kind, Sarah has sent a gifted membership out to somebody in the chat. So congratulations. Thank you, Sarah, for sending that out. That's very, very kind of you. And whoever it was that randomly got selected for that gifted membership, welcome. Hopefully we'll see you on next Sunday, but also there may well be another stream, members only, coming this Friday. It's quite possible. It's quite possible. So then let me have a look back in that there chat. Let's see where we are. Oh, look at that. Country Love Homestead, my darling. Congratulations to you, Country Love Homestead. You're the one that received the thingy, the membership. For some reason I can't highlight that, but thank you ever so much. Right then, let's have a look. I think that was it from NY. Or was it NV? Yeah, NY. So then, thank you very much to NY, and yeah, let us know how you respond to that in the comments afterwards. So then, that's our super chat done for the evening, or one of them, the first one done for the evening. Don't forget, you can always send a super chat if you want to guarantee your place in that there live stream. But for now, shall we have a round? Shall we open a round? I think we should open a round. Let's go ahead and do that. So the very first round, or the next open round, is now open. So do please go ahead and pop your question into that there live chat, starting with the word question. One of those will then get selected at random, and yeah, that person will then get their reading read. They will have their question answered, is what I'm trying to say. So do ask your question now, pop it into that there live chat, and the other way, of course, is to send it through as a super chat. Either way, do one of those two lovely things, and you've got about 30 seconds. Ask your question now. Send your question as a super chat to guarantee your 3-card reading is next. Donations of $10 or £8 or over will receive a longer 6 or 7 card reading. To try for a free reading, write your question in the live chat, starting with the word question. If no super chats come in, a free question will be chosen at random. And if you need help, just ask one of our mods. Exactly. Just ask any one of our mods. The mods are those lovely people that have a spanner next to their name. And of course, when I bring up their name, there is no spanner on it on this software, but they have got a spanner in the normal YouTube chat. So then it looks as if we had one question only in that round, and that was from Faith. So Faith, my darling, no, that's not Faith's question. That's Faith's question. So Faith's question, as far as I'm aware, is that correct? Yes, it looks like it was. So then, Faith, my darling, you get, by process of elimination, you get your doodah. You get your doodah. You get your reading. So, thank you, Keeper of the Questions. It says, my intuition tells me the guy I like is still thinking about me after our argument. Is that true? Let's see what the cards say. Dormouse, good evening, Dormouse. You've lost the plot. Sitting out, warming your toes with coffee. Don't pour coffee on your toes. It will scald. It's very hot. Coffee is hot. Don't pour hot coffee on your toes. That's not a way of warming your toes. In front of the first outdoor fryer of the year. Grumpy says hello. Hello to you both. I am very pleased to have you here, both of you. And also, thank you for letting me know that the earrings arrived and that you like them. That's very kind of you. M. Grace, good evening to you. Hold on, M. Grace, until the next round, which will come up straight after the question from Faith. So then, let's go into it for you, Faith. And we're going to cut across to the other camera. Cleanse that area. And we are bringing in Wispy, the elemental dragon. Wispy, the magic dragon. Give us some signs with tarot cards and psychic riz and other cringy lines. I know, right? That is what's it called? What's it called? What is it called when they do rap and it's straight off the cuff and it's just like that? That's what I just did. Straight off the cuff. Random, making it up as I go along, random singing. There we go. Slam poetry. Would that be called slam poetry? I'm not sure. I'm not sorted. I'm not entirely sure. You just noticed I'm looking very coordinated today with all the purple. Purple is my colour, Curious Holland. You should know this. But yes, I am. Thank you very much. And all of the purples everywhere, it all blends, even me eyes, even me visogs, even me eyes are all thingied. No, not improv. There's a name for it in rap. There is a name for it in rap where they do and it's all like spitting lines, and it's a thing. Yes, you can tell I'm up with my contemporary music culture, can't you? Anyway, right, let's get Goodinda freestyle. Thank you. Goodinda Belinda. Yes, good evening, Belinda is what I was trying to say. Good evening, Belinda. Good evening, Neil. It's your colour too. No, I'm older than you. I mean, I get to say that about most people these days, but I'm older than you. I choosied it first. Anyway, right, Faith, let's have a look. I've lost your question again because I'm faffing around this evening. Aren't I faffing? I need an anti-faffing pill. That's what I need. Right then, Wispy. Faith's intuition says that the guy that they like is still thinking about Faith after the argument. Is that true? Is the guy that Faith likes still thinking about them after the argument? Let's see what you have to say, Wispy. Here we go. Do the drop. So then, we look at where you are right now. Ooh, 7 of Cups reversed. We've got the 4 of Wands reversed in what you need to know. And we've got my favourite card in any deck, maybe apart from this one, is the Empress. The Empress coming up in the future opportunity. Also reversed. Right then, so what does all this reversal mean? Well, first of all, 7 of Cups. Cups is your emotional suit, as I said in the first reading, and cups are all about that emotional, our feelings, how we communicate, our romantic interests, all of that, our friendships. in this case, sevens are talking about tough decisions, right? So if you can see, the cups are sort of glowing or foaming or something. Not the two in, oh, actually, yeah, they are. Both in the hands are also glowing and foaming. And is this a magical concoction? Is this someone's dropped something they shouldn't, a roofie or something into the drink? Is this one of those potions? What is going on? But each cup is different. You can't see that they're different, but the contents are different. If you look very, very carefully, you can see the sparkles are different. Excuse me. So we've got slightly different. This one is all just little dots with a couple of random star sparkles in. This one is tiny little stars. This one, it's going up. This one, it's like hexagonal blobbies. So you get the idea, right? This one, it's swirling. They're all slightly different concoctions. It's all slightly different things that are being offered. The difficulty here is the choice, the choosing of it all, right? This is reverse. Sevens are all about difficult choices. Cups is about emotions. But the reversal here, I think that the guy that you like feels spurned and feels like he probably is still thinking about you, Faith. But I do think there is an element here of maybe he got out, maybe he got away with a lucky escape. Maybe it would be a choice between bad options. Do you know what I mean? Because this card is reversed, and this is saying that it's almost like, would you rather be between a rock or a hard place? You know, what would you rather be under? What it's the choice between the devil and the deep blue sea. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a bit like, do you know the old joke about somebody that has to choose a way to die, and they can die with, you know, by getting, I can't remember what the joke is. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, my brain just went completely blank. But it's a bit like having that choice, right? So for whatever reason, you're sat there on death row. You can have the injection or you can have the chair. Actually, do you know what? I'd rather not have either. Thanks. No, but that's your choice. It's like that. Neither choice is going to be good in the long run. Neither choice is positive. That's what this is saying. All of the choices that the guy is feeling like at the moment don't feel very good. So I think he may well be thinking about you after the argument, but not necessarily in a good way. This feels quite sad. And I mean that in the traditional, genuine meaning of the word. Not like, oh, that's so sad. I mean like genuinely upset, sadness. I think that's sort of where he is. What you need to know: Four of Wands reversed. Four of Wands. Wands is all about security, confidence, how you see yourself, how he sees himself, all of that stuff, right? All of that sense of belonging together. The reason I'm saying how you see yourself together is because in this image we've got a couple. So this is that togetherness element, right? However, this way up, things are stable, things are going well. When that stability is reversed, we get stagnancy. And I think that whatever this connection is, in the what you need to know section, it now feels stagnant. Whatever was, or whatever could have been a nice, stable, something that was ticking over quite nicely, potentially got some growth to it. Now it feels bittered. Now it feels tainted. That's the word I was looking for. It feels like that lovely, healthy brook, that lovely, healthy, bubbling stream has now been cut off, and it's just stagnant water full of mozzies and sludge and nastiness, right? That's now where it's at, and this is in the what you need to know. I don't think that I think the guy may well be thinking about you, but I don't think it's in a positive way, my darling, because then the final card, the what is the future outcome to be, we've got the Empress. Now if the Empress was this way up, there would be all sorts of hope for the future with you two, right? Loads of it, because the Empress is not just about family. As you can see, this version of the Empress is with child. but the Empress is about that loving abundance and maternal and familial love, right, is what the Empress brings. And it's that feeling of home, it's that feeling of safety, it's that feeling of security, it's that feeling of knowing that you are accepted, you are loved, you are not judged. There is always a positive vibe here. And she's reversed, which means that has been taken. Okay, so whatever this is for you two moving forward, it feels very much like, for the guy, it feels like his idea of where things could have been headed has now been taken away. So, yeah, I can have a little drop of cinnamon syrup. Yes, thank you. That sounds lovely. So yeah, this Empress is basically saying that this energy has been taken. That warm, familial, loving, embracing, accepting vibe that the Empress gives when she's reversed, that is now missing. So these three cards, my darling, I think whatever the argument was about, however important or unimportant it felt from your perspective, it feels like the guy, it was perhaps the straw that broke the camel's back, or it was perhaps one argument too many. So yeah, unfortunately, it's probably not what you wanted to hear, but as I say all the time, I can only give you the readings that the cards give me, and I will tell you what you need to know, as I say, even if it isn't what you want to hear. So I do hope that helps at least bring some clarity, and at least bring a sense of maybe even a sense of starting to find closure from that relationship. But I hope that helps, my darling. And yeah, I would say, judging the way the cards are falling for this one, it may be the best thing to do might be just to chalk it up to experience and kind of find a way of moving forward. So yeah, I hope that helps. Thank you ever so much for your question, Faith. So then let's have a wee look in the chat again. Boo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Inspector Gadget, why? Everybody's saying hello to everybody. Ruddy Row. What's that? What's that, Patricia? I don't know what that is. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely she is. Yeah, absolutely. That Seven of Cups. She's literally sat there going, I'm playing choosy with these. Do I want this one? I'm going to swap it for that one. If you don't know what choosy is, it is a very thrilling, exciting... Thank you very much. Ouch. Oh, were they? Oh, lovely. The dogs liked their special garlic Kiev dinner that they've just had. So yeah, choosy, basically, right, I'll give you the idea of what choosy is, because I reference it quite a lot. Somebody who we follow on the YouTube called Amberlyn Reed, who is basically a pretty trash human being, she had this thing, right, where she calls it choosy, and it was a thing that she liked to play, but unfortunately she made her partners play it and they hated it, and it was basically almost like a torture thing. So me and Rufus have we have rebranded it into something very different. But the original choosy would be, these are some croc charms. Like, we're starting off with this one. Do you prefer this charm or this charm? And you'd say, oh, I think I like the ghost. Okay, is the ghost better or worse than the mummy? The skull and crossbones mummy. Are you going to choose it? I'm going to stick with the ghost. Okay, or we've got a potion bottle. Oh, well, actually, I like the potion bottle. Okay, well, do you want the potion bottle or the heart potion? Oh, I'm going to have the love potion. Okay, would you prefer the love potion or the other voodoo doll? I'm going to stick to the love potion. Hurrah! That is your choosy for today, right? Except instead of it being done with 5, 6 croc charms, it will be done with hundreds hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and it would go on for hours and hours. So that game she called Choosy. So now when you do that, do you prefer this or that? That is Choosy. So you'll hear me say it quite a lot. I might have to, for the members, I might have to add in a Choosy doodah emoji, because we've got emojis that are members only, so I might have to add that in. Right then, let's have a look. No problem at all, my darling, no problem whatsoever. Ed, have we all remembered to hit the thumbs up button? If you haven't done already, please do hit that thumbs up button. I would say hit it twice, but no, hit it 3 times. Hit it 3 times. That would be lovely if you can hit it 3 times. Like that, like it does one of them. And then hopefully you've subscribed, because you need to be subscribed so that you can actually ask questions in the chat. But if you have subscribed, make sure that your bell has been donged and that it's sat on all, because YouTube, very usefully for us small little micro nano channels over here, YouTube is very good at not just unsubscribing people, but also changing the notifications so that I go live or upload a video and nobody knows, which is terrible. Ed's been a member for 12 months. Oh my gosh, congratulations. Thank you, Ed. You're all very kind to me. You're all very, very kind to me. Dormouse, you're feeling much better. I'm so pleased. Yeah, let the others do the work for you. I know, right? It's so nice to join Lovelies on time for what feels like forever. You've been rushing around to walk a fluffy woofer before the live. You have done. I know. I will send you a message about that though, Ed. I will send you a lovely message. Oh, look, doodah. We got doodahs in the chat. Doodah. Because I might say that word a little bit. Just a little bit. Occasionally. I think I've mentioned it once. But nobody... It's a bit like the 40 Towers episode, isn't it? Don't mention the war. I mentioned it once, but I think I got away with it. Yeah, I might have said doodah once. A long time ago. Anyway, should we have another another round? Almost. Should we have another round? I think we should. We should have another round. If you would like a question, please do pop your question in the live chat, starting with the word question, or send it through as a super chat. Don't forget, with any super chat amount, you automatically take the next available position. If we get more than one super chat, I do them in the order they come in. Any super chat amount will guarantee you that next slot. If you want to get a longer reading, you can do so by sending a super chat of £8, $10 or above. And once YouTube takes its 30% off the top, any money that comes in from super chats or memberships, 10% of that money goes directly to the PDSA and 10% goes to a local homeless shelter, and the rest we put back into the channel. So then, just in case anybody was wondering, that is what happens to the super chat money. And also over on eBay, where the earrings and other items are currently being sold, on eBay /Beyond Authentic, 10% of all of that money automatically goes to the PDSA because it can automatically be set up. So yes. So then I'm going to give you 1 minute. Get your questions in now if you haven't already. You've got exactly 1 minute. Put your question in the live chat, starting with the word question, and I'll be back in 1 minute's time. Okie dokie. Right then, I have just broken my chat. I know, right? Hang on. I sent a message on the chat and then I broke the chat. So I just need to pull it back up again. I don't know what just happened. It completely broke. I couldn't see anything. I know. All I did was to send the emojis in the chat and go, look, we've got emojis. Grace, your question was the one that was randomly selected. Percy, hold your question, my darling, until the very next round. It will be coming up shortly. So, Grace, good evening to you, my darling. Question, what does tarot want you to know about your current love life? Ooh, do you have a current love life? I've been with my partner for 10 years. It doesn't feel like we have much of a current love life at all. I think that's quite standard when you've been together for a while, though, isn't it? It is. I think it is. The occasional love life rather than the twice a night, 3 times on, what is it? No, what is it? Every day and twice matinees. No. What am I trying to say? Holland would know what I'm trying to say. Holland, that thing that they do in the theatres where you play so many days a week and twice on Saturdays a matinee. There's a line, isn't there? I can't remember what it is. That's going to really bug me now. You play nightly and twice on Saturdays. It's a theatre reference. It's a theatre reference. I'm sure if anybody in the chat knows it, I'm sure that Holland will get the reference to the theatre thing. Anywho, let's crack on with your reading, Grace. So then, yeah, but there's a phrase, Holland, where you say, "Oh, we're doing it. We perform every evening and twice on Saturdays for the matinee." There's a thing, there's a line, I'm sure. Like it's a standard thing. It's a thing. Oh, I know what a matinee is. I know. Thank you, Eleanor, for subscribing. Welcome. I know what the matinee is. What I'm saying is there's a phrase that the theatre contract, it's like you're performing nightly and twice on Saturdays, and that was what I was trying to allude to. Anyway, right, did I shuffle them? I don't remember. Wispy was shuffling. Grace wants to know, what does tarot want Grace to know in their current love life? What does Grace need to know in their current love life? Ooh, oops, the daisy, look at that, we had a card flip. So, the card that's flipped came up like this. Upside down, 2 of Cups. Now, the 2 of Cups is about couples. 2s are about people coming together. Cups is emotions. The 2 of Cups reversed is perhaps suggesting that there is a lack of a connection, or if there has been a connection, that I don't know why it's reflecting so badly, but if there has been a connection, okay, that connection may well not be as strong or as emotionally rewarding as it once was. Okay, it feels like there's a little bit of, again, a little bit of not ill will, maybe a little bit of sadness, maybe a little bit of distance going on at the moment, Grace. I'm just going to use shall I use a palm stone, or should I tell you what, I'm going to use a dragon. There we go, just so I can rest that slightly like that so we can see it. There you go, look. So yes, this is your clarifying card, and this is the card that is the lens that we look at these other 3 cards through. Okay, so then, Wispy, as always, when there is a card that flips, that's when we do the cut. And where you are right now, Grace, Emperor reversed. What you need to know, 7 of Wands reversed, and your future potential. Right, okay, so this is not, hang on, go back onto this screen again. This is not, do not get worried about this card, right? This is not what it means. It doesn't mean the thing that it says on the tin, right? This is not one of those moments. This card does not reflect in any way, shape or form its name or depiction. It means something else, right? It means something else. So look, this is the Death card, but you can see here the card is literally rebirth, right? The Death card in tarot means an ending. It means a chapter is closing. Something is coming to the end of its run. It then starts something new. If you think of it in the way of Susie Izzard, the comedian, used to do a skit about having the god of creation and also needing the god of destruction, because otherwise you go, the god of creation is going, boom, there's a universe. What, you don't like that one? Okay, I'll put it in the garage with the 27 others. Boom, there's another one. You need that god of destruction to go, oh, you don't want that one? Pff, gone. And then the god of creation goes, what about this one, where the intelligent life on earth is the earthworms? And you go, they're not really going to be able to drive a car or build sky. Okay, boom, gone. Right? You need to be the god of both, or you need to have the god of destruction go, get rid of, right? There needs to be an ending for something new to happen. There has to be. That caterpillar has to end its existence as a caterpillar for it to become a beautiful moth. I'm a beautiful butterfly, right? It has to go through that process. Otherwise, there is no transformation. There is no growth. There is no, unless the sperm gives up its life when it meets the egg, there is no baby. Months later, do you know what I mean? If there's no forest fire, the forests stop growing because the tree cover gets so dense that it doesn't get any sunlight, and then actually it kills the forest. So occasionally you need that forest fire to come and cleanse everything and bring in the fresh. Okay, hopefully that is all explaining why the Death card isn't about death. In some decks it's called transformation or transition, or a time of change or rebirth. Do not get worried about it being the Death card, right? It doesn't mean that somebody's life is coming to an end. So then, with all of that being said, you've got 2 major cards. So the Emperor is coming up in your where you are right now. The Emperor is a major arcana card, one of the majors. The Emperor is all about authority, control, dominance. It's all about being the person the buck stops with, right? The buck stops with the Emperor. It's all very detailed, right? It's all very, the Emperor makes the plans. There are 2 cards in the deck that have kind of equal, equal authority. The Emperor and the Hierophant. The Emperor controls the physical day-to-day running of the empire. The Hierophant controls the spiritual running of the empire. So these 2 together are kind of, they run the empire together. You need both of them on the same page, right? So that is where the Emperor comes in. Very, very authoritative, very much about control, plans, and things moving forward. Now, the Emperor here is reversed, which means at the moment it feels like one of 2 things is happening, right? One of 2 things. Either the person in your life that you are seeing, you see as that Emperor role. So you see as that authority figure, that teacher, that person who is controlling you, controlling your relationships. But that doesn't necessarily mean it to be a horrendously dark element of control. It could just be someone who's taking the lead in that situation, right? But this is reversed. And so that Emperor's element, that control element, does come off a little bit darker, right? It does come off a little bit more controlling rather than guiding, right? it comes off as, instead of it being the leader of the tarot nation, it's almost the dictator of the tarot nation. Does that make sense? So in terms of a relationship, in terms of your love life, this could be a warning that if there is somebody in your life, a partner or somebody that you've been interested in or seeing, that actually the cards are saying beware, because again we've got this kind of this almost end of a relationship clarifying card here, right? With this too, it feels like this is that sadness, that feeling of loss comes through with this card. So just beware about this Emperor, okay? Sometimes emperors can also represent father figures. I'm not in any way, shape or form suggesting that in this case, with it being a love life reading, that's where that comes in. It could be that you look for partners that remind you of a father's energy, or remind you of what you wished your father's energy was. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes that can play a role, but in this case, I think that's less of a perspective than it coming from that authority role, because we've also got the Seven of Wands here as well. Okay, as I say, these cards, they are slightly softer in their approach, but they're still incredibly hard in what they say. So Wands is all about your sense of self, your sense of security, your sense of belonging, how you see yourself in the world, right? That sense of who you are. The Sevens are all about choices, tough decisions. In this position, this is what you need to know about your love life through this. I think that you are struggling to a certain extent with how to move, how to rebuild, how to be you. Now that could be because you weren't allowed to be you in a relationship. It could be because, you know, you've Rispy, okay, right, let me just clarify. When I say you're not allowed to be you, right, I don't mean that you were banned or you were controlled and, you know, potentially in a it rhymes with conducive, right, type relationship. It doesn't, I'm not necessarily saying that, but it may be that you gave someone the authority in that relationship, right? Quite often in relationships, in a very, very healthy relationship, you can get one person who says, I don't want to make decisions, right? It's just not in my nature. I'm quite happy being a follower. In the UK, there was, many people will know, in fact, it's worldwide known, I don't know why I said it like that, but there was a Prime Minister called Margaret Thatcher, right? Like her or loathe her, most people are torn down the middle with that. She was a strong leader. Whether you think that was for good or for evil, she was a strong leader. Her husband was very happy standing in the background, supporting, you know, being her husband in private, but allowing her job shone. He was very much in the back, you know, what's it called, in the shadows. Equally, let's not use a person as Marmite as that. Dolly Parton, very world famous, right? World famous for the boobs, the hair, the singing, arguably the boobs and the hair more than the singing, but she's world famous. Her husband isn't in showbiz, doesn't do any of the showbiz things, rarely got photographed, rarely went to any of these events, doesn't even have, or didn't have, I'm not sure if he's still alive or not, but didn't even have social media. He was the quiet one behind that image, right? It could well be that in a relationship, you are happy to be the Mr. Dolly Parton, Mr. Thatcher in that situation, right? You're happy to let someone else hog the limelight, take the limelight, stand up and be, you know, the spokesperson, all of that. You're quite happy going, that's not for me. Or it could be that you weren't allowed. either way, the Seven of Wands, when it's like this, is saying, look, you don't know how to be yourself, how to live as authentically. You don't know how to express the things you want. You don't know how to express the things you don't want. You don't know how to be a fully rounded individual within a relationship. And I think this is something that is probably going to hold you back whilst all these other things are moving around you. However, the positive here, right? The positive here is this Death card. It's an incredibly positive card for this particular reading. This is why when it's always depicted on telly or in films, people go, oh, and then 2 minutes later, oh no, we've just found our neighbour, butler, whoever, dropped down dead, and oh, now it's a murder on the Orient Express type thing, right? Doesn't mean that. This Death card here is talking about, this is a moment of rebirth for you, right? This is a moment where you can, this is your future opportunity. You can transition your life in a way that you get to be whatever the hell it is that you need to move forward. However you are able to manifest, transform, right? Put all of what has been in your relationship history, if you like. Imagine your computer browser history, but it all being just about your relationships, all the ones you've ever had, going all the way back to, I don't know, years, decades, months, however long you've been in the dating world, right? That one fling that lasted a couple of days, all the way through to that 15-year relationship, whatever it is for you, whatever your relationship browser history looks like, right? This Death card is you being able to clear that cache completely and start over with a completely clear noteboard, whiteboard, blackboard, whatever it is, right? A new ledger. You get to completely start over in a way that feels right for you. So whatever else has gone on in terms of your love life, this Death card is saying, look, that you can park all of that. That's all past. You don't need to bring any of that forward with you if you don't want to, right? You can pick and choose now at this point. It might take some counseling. It might take some inner looking. It might take some shadow work, we call it in witchcraft. It might take some, a bottle of wine in your best mate. Whatever it is, right? You get to look at the patterns in your life in terms of relationships and decide which of those patterns, which of those habits, which of those, versions you want to get rid of, and which ones you want to take forward. So it may well be that you are in any relationship, you are happy for the other person to take the lead, right? But on an equal kind of basis, where you're happy for them to be, to decide, I don't know, a lot of the day-to-day decisions. You're happy to take a back foot on, the where you live, but actually your passion may be gardening. Right? Sounds ridiculous. Let me go with it. Right? So as long as you get to choose the garden, the layout, where the plants are, everything about it, then you're happy with the other person deciding which city you live in. Do you know what I mean? There's a balance. This card is talking about you are now able to move forward in your love life in whatever that means for you, whether it means actually, do you know what? You just want to date for a little bit, or you just want to hook up for a little bit, or whether, do you know what, I've had enough of hooking up, I've had enough of dating, I want a deeper, meaningful relationship now. Whatever it is that you have been wanting or lacking previously, this is your opportunity now to make it happen, to manifest it, to be that change, right? So that this sadness that comes in with this Two of Cups, that this sadness becomes a joyous, happy moment, right? Where you are able to take all of the pain of a lost relationship or the frustrations from a lost relationship, and that can be one when you were a kid, at school, your first love. Excuse me. It could be a divorce. It doesn't matter how deep or whatever those relationships were, but you can learn those lessons and decide, I wouldn't mind doing that bit again, but not that bit. I really enjoyed that part of the relationships, but not that bit. I don't ever want to meet anybody like that again. I don't want to be like that in a relationship again. You're the one now that gets, with this death card coming up so prominently in your future, you are the one that gets to choose it. You are the one that gets to actively say, I am looking for a committed, relationship with somebody that also might have a bit of baggage, but has also been around the block a few times. I don't want someone who's in their first ever relationship, because we all remember our first relationships, right? Fondly or otherwise. I don't want that. I want someone who at least kind of wants to be in a long-term thing. Or, as I say, it may well be that you're like, do you know what? I've done the long-term thing. It was great. Didn't last, didn't end up going the way that I wanted it to. So do you know what? The one thing I've not done in my life is to have just some fun, have a couple of flings, see what's out there. And is it Baskin Robbins that's got 31 flavours or something? Try a few different flavours of ice cream while I'm at the parlour. Do you know what I mean? It's entirely up to you now how you move forward. It feels very much, I don't know whether your current relationship or your current love life situation has ended, or whether that is in the process of ending. It feels very much like if it hasn't ended, but you've got this strong feeling of sadness that's coming through with it, this may be the moment to say, do you know what, husband, wife, partner, person, I want this relationship to be different. I am not currently happy. I want to be with you. I love you, or I'm falling out of love with you, or I'm falling in love with you, but I am not happy because of this card, and I want to make some significant changes because of this. Right? So if you're in a relationship where you think it can be salvaged, it can be saved, but you're not currently happy, you need to have that conversation. And this rebirth card might be counselling, couples therapy. If you're not in a relationship, or if you're in a relationship that's currently, had it, then this will say that moving forward, you've got the chance to rework what relationships mean for you. Okay? I really hope that helps. There's some big cards here with the Emperor and with the Death card, and arguably with this Two of Cups as well. It's an important card in relationship readings. So I do hope that helps, my darling. Thank you ever so much for your question. And Grace, as always, I wish you nothing but the very, very best of luck. And I hope that at least, it's probably not what you wanted to hear, but at least I hope it gives you a little bit of guidance on how to move things forward. So yeah. I will say that I always recommend counselling support, right? Always. I am a massive advocate for counselling and therapy, if that's something that's available to you, and if that's something that you can do. Even if you don't feel that you need it, right? Just sitting somewhere. Listen, it's really good, right? Sitting somewhere and talking to someone who is kind of paid to sit there, whether you're paying or not, because I know a lot of charities offer support like that. It's amazing how freeing it is. It's also amazing how, if you've paid for a therapy appointment, right, you may well be sat there on the drive or on the bus or the train to your appointment. You may be sat there thinking, actually, do you know what, this past week, again, I've had this past week feels all right, actually. Do you know what, I feel all right. I don't feel as if I might even not need counselling anymore. And then you go in and you sit down, and because you're aware, I am paying X number of pounds, dollars, yen, for this appointment. Maybe I should speak. And then you sit in the chair, and before you know it, the floodgates have opened up. It's 56 minutes later. You've had a box of tissues you've gone through, because all of a sudden everything that was under the surface has suddenly gone out of your mouth. And you're like, oh, do you know what? I genuinely feel much better. I didn't even know that was in there. totally recommend counselling. And I really wish, I wish that it was, if politics here, but in the UK we seem to be going backwards in terms of how we view mental health. I wish that we lived in a society where counselling support and therapy was mandated. I think the society would be so much better if everybody had to go for mandated counselling for at least a chunk of their life, right? Maybe not forever, but at least a part of your life. I think all of our mental health would improve if we just had that level of support. But anyway, that's just me. Anyway, enough about Lisa's utopia world that I live in. It's a little bit Doctor Who and a lot of Star Trek. I know, right? And a little bit Terry Pratchett, it's got to be said. Anyway, shall we have another tarot reading? I think we should. Shall we do some more readings? No, let's go into the chat first. I haven't even looked at the chat. So, no problem at all, M. Grace. I hope it helps. I really do. You are a valid, wonderful human being. Don't let anybody change that. People saying good evening to Sonia. Good evening to Sonia. Hello, Sonia. Patricia, don't rush anything. Take your time. You can and will handle it well. Absolutely. Time heals everything. Except diabetes, in which case something like metformin or glycoside or a very low sugar, low GI diet will also help. Yes, change is often a progress in the right direction. It can take a long time. If you think about life as one of those giant cargo ships on the ocean, right? They're not a speedboat. Speedboats can change directions really fast. Those big giant cargo ships, it's the reason that one got stuck in the Suez Canal, because it can take ages for it to be able to move. It's so big that for it to change direction can literally take minutes or even hours, depending on the how far it needs to change, right? That's life. That's what other people say, but that is life. It sometimes takes us hours to change, or months, in our case years, to change direction. Changing the dynamics of your relationship. Something isn't right now. As I say, if your current connection is sad and has that lack of love and lack of support in it, then that is perhaps that is something you need to look at. You agree about counselling. It would make such a key difference. Wouldn't it just? I am a huge advocate for counselling and mental health support. I really am. I don't know a single person that I've ever met that hasn't needed counselling and hasn't needed more love than they deserve. I think everybody needs more love than they deserve. I really do. I know, right? This is such a coven of kindness moment. Shall we have I was about to say, shall we have another reading? And Culture Vulture Bluminek. Culture Envy. What is Culture Vulture? Is that a website? Is it a shop? I think it might be a shop. Culture Envy has sent a super chat. So, $10 uses a longer reading. Some time has passed since I last asked this, and I've learned new job skills. What should I look for in my job search? Okay, my darling, we will have a look for you. We will have a look, Culture Envy, for you, my darling. Absolutely. Right then, I tell you what, I need to take a slurp of drink. However, I won't do that with an open mic because it triggers me. I don't know about anybody else. I have ADHD, and part of the thing that it cripples me are mouth noises, so I wouldn't put that on anybody else. So I'm going to hit this magic button, and I will be back straight after this with Culture Envy's reading.
Join the Crow Collective. Help to support this channel by becoming a member here on YouTube. From £2.99 per month, you will gain access to members-only perks, live streams, competitions, sneak peeks, and more. Just click on Join for more information. Thank you to all our members.
Yay! Right then, so let's oh gosh, hold on. Let's have a wee look. Right, before I jump into the reading, I just saw something pop up. Hang on a second. Where was it? What did I just see pop up on the screen? Dormouse, stress all weekend. You've been waiting to see if a friend needs you to meet them tomorrow. It's been on off. And they've just texted to say they're going to meet you tomorrow. So you need to get up at 5 a.m. Good Lord, you're a good friend. I don't think I'd get up at 5 a.m. for anyone. She says regularly getting up at 5 a.m. for people, yeah. It also depends on the counsellors. Some are not as good and can cause more harm than good. That's very true. It's like dentists. The reason I have a phobia about dentists is because when I had my wisdom teeth out, the dentist I saw cracked my bloody jaw because he was a crap dentist. And that instilled an absolute just physical fear of dentists. Hate with a passion. I virtually have to be knocked out. It's a bit like B.A. Baracus getting on an airplane. Do you know what I mean? God, that's aged me, hasn't it? Okay, my darling, it doesn't have to be a long reading. I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll tell you what I'll do. I will do it as if it is, and we'll see what the cards say. All right. So then, Culture Envy. Let's click to the top-down version. And I know, right? With every single cloth, it doesn't matter what the cloth is. I always struggle to get it in the right position. There we go. Maybe that's better. So then, as always, we do the cleansey cleanse. We do the shake and vac and put the freshness back. Do the shake and vac and put the freshness back. I was trying then. I had to swallow the urge to sing a very rude version of that we wanted to perform on stage once. But anyway. Oh gosh, not the time or place. Right, so then, Wispy, good evening. Come and rescue me, Wispy. Culture Envy wants to know, they've learned some new job skills. What should Culture Envy look for in a job search? Is there anything specifically that we can pinpoint Culture Envy to start looking at in a job search? I'll have a look at that for you, my darling. I need to put the fan on. It's getting very warm again. Oh. Everyone, apologies. I'm very much overheating. There we go. Right, sorry, I had to put the fan on. I know, I haven't quite got it to be able to control it by voice yet. I'm working on it. So, what does Culture Envy need to look at in terms of the job search? Let's have a look. So, if we go with... Ooh. I'll tell you what we'll do. How about this, Culture Envy? How about this? Right. I'm going to take this off the screen. I'm going to do you the Safe Traveller reading. Spread. The Safe Travel spread. Right. Okay. So then, it's going to be a 7-card reading. And I don't feel like I need to shuffle anymore. So we're just going to go for it. Right then, the safe passage. Safe passage? I think that's what it's called. Right, Wispy. So, position number 1. This denotes you in your job search. Okay. We've got the 4 of Cups. There's a little bit of complacency here, Culture Envy. A little bit of perhaps not being aware of everything around you, right? Not being aware of opportunities when they arise. I'm not saying that this is like, you could have grabbed any old job any which way. I'm not saying that at all. But there is something here. The Four of Cups, there is an option here. There is a choice. You can see this fourth cup is being gifted. It comes with all the magical sparkles and sprinkles. However, this person seems a little bit furrowed brow, a little bit upset. They've got these three cups here. Normally this card will depict stability. Everything's fine. I don't really want that fourth one. I'm happy with what I've got. But there's a little element here of, there are choices. There are things coming your way that perhaps don't quite meet your... How can I put it? They don't quite meet your exact requirements, but a little bit of flexibility here may well help, right? Let me put it that way. So it could be that you just need to be a little bit fluid with how the job search goes. Right, the quest. So for you, the search. The search. We have where you are headed, the quest. So the Seven of Pentacles again. Pentacles, work, career, finance. Sevens, choices. These are difficult choices that you need to make. There are some difficult choices. You are, whatever this is, it feels like there is something that you could go and do, but you don't want to. For whatever reason, it's no longer floating your boat or tickling your pickle, right? For whatever reason, it just is like, actually, I don't want to do that. Thanks very much. It's not, I've moved beyond that now. Yeah, and that's your quest. In terms of your path forward, no, sorry. Yeah, no, that was wrong. That position goes there. Right, doesn't matter. Because your path behind, what's led you up to where you are now, right? What has led you up to where you are now? We've got the eight of Pentacles. So again, have you been money led? Has it been that your search for your career has always been about that financial growth, that financial improvement? Because there's definitely something here about the eights are all about working really hard, burning the candle at both ends. The eights of Pentacles, they're about, fulfilling those deadlines, stretching, really like putting as much of you can't quite see, this is a ballerina or a ballet dancer, and they are stretching as far out as they can, as limber as they can possibly be. They are working it. They are genuinely pushing themselves as hard as they can. This is your past, okay? So this is that past vibe that comes from everything that you've been through in your work so far. So it feels like you really do push those limits. That's why I'm saying this quest, it may well be that actually you've got to rethink how you see that work, how you see your work-life balance type situation, because it genuinely feels, with this seven being the quest, it feels like making hard decisions about your future and about your career. It feels like that is something that is really blocking you. In a way, so it really does feel as if you have to make some difficult choices, right? You really have to make some difficult choices. Right, path ahead. So path ahead. Well, I'm going to go to here. I thought that was the back then. The Ace of Cups reversed. Okay. Ace is a new starts. Cups is your emotions. You're thinking too much with your heart right now. Culture Envy, I think the cards already are trying to point out that perhaps you just need... Oh gosh. You need to find any job. Right? So you need to find any job. It feels much more important right now, rather than waiting for the ideal, rather than waiting for everything to be perfect and you're emotionally connected. It feels like you really need to move the requirement, change your requirements. Any job is going to be vital right now. Any job at all. It honestly, the cards are almost saying, doesn't matter what you do. Like, you might be, you know, in things like Chicago, I can't remember what it's called, Chicago Hospital, in Grey's Anatomy, in add name of medical drama here, there's always those moments where, like, the janitor turns out to have been a, I don't know, pediatrician in Romania, or, you know, the person who delivers the meals turns out to be a heart surgeon from Iraq. Do you know what I mean? There's always that moment where they go, oh, but why are you not? Because you haven't got the license for this country, so you can't perform the thing that you are qualified to do in this country. Therefore, you take that menial job, but it's paying the bills and paying, you know, you're providing food and shelter, and you know, you're paying rent and all of that lot. There's something in it about that culture envy. It's like, whatever your qualifications are, wherever you're headed, you just need to take any job right now, right? You just need to take any job right now. So, obstacles. What are your obstacles in this? The moon. Oh God, yes. Your obstacles. Stop navel gazing, my darling. Stop looking and waiting for that hopeful, spiritual, wonderful, oh, I'm deeply committed to this job, this is my soul's purpose. That is not going to help. That is not going to help, my darling. Right? That is literally saying this is your obstacle. The moon energy is your obstacle. That lunar energy is coming in and it's all saying, oh, but I have to wait for the moon to be in alignment with Saturn's rings, and then when the birds tweet my name and the rivers call upon me, then I shall become my full-blown goddess entity, and I shall endeavour to step foot upon this grateful land, and I shall shine my ability to pack groceries in Walmart. Right? Whatever it is. No, that's grand. Right? You can afford to do that later on when you've got your mortgage paid and food on your table. Right now, you need to just be practical. The perfect job may come along later, but right now you need to just go and put food on your table. Right? That's the obstacle. The destination. No, sorry, the windfall. The windfall, right? Windfall. Where luck, where connection, where positivity is coming in. It's coming in. Ooh, yes, again, right. Your emotional state. Oh my gosh. Stop trying to stop going for that emotional fulfillment of, oh my God, this is filling my heart's purpose. If you want a job that's going to be your calling, go and be a nun. If you are called to, you know, to service, go and join the nunnery. Go and join Médecins Sans Frontières, whatever it is, right? The Foreign Legion. If you've got a calling and you're waiting for that calling, then grand, go off and do that. But actually, do you know what? This is not what this is saying. This is saying that you might be waiting for a sign from the universe, but you've been sent many of them. And actually right now, the universe is screaming at you, just any job. It doesn't have to be the perfect job that you've always wanted. Any job. It's a job. You can think about career terms and all of that later. Just any job, right? And this wind, it's really interesting because Windfall coming up with an 8 of Cups reversed. This is literally saying, like, that is going to be your bonus. That is going to be your windfall, right? And what I mean by that is that when you are able to say, do you know what? I am going to take a job that will pay, that will get me out of debt, that will pay for my bills, that will pay for my future. It will allow me to do X, Y, Z, even if that's what I'm trained to do. Allow me to do that as a hobby if need be, right? You might be a fantastic painter. You might be waiting for a job where you are able to go and, you know, paint portraits. But unless you open the paper and there are 15 jobs looking for portrait painters, that might have to be a hobby right now, because it might be that actually, although that's your training and your calling and your passion, what is the benefit of being kicked out of your house and surviving on scraps on the street where you can't even afford the oil paints or the canvas? Do you know what I mean? This is literally the universe saying your windfall here is saying to you, if you just accept that actually right now what's right for you is any job, any employment, anybody that is willing to pay you for your time to go and sit in a ... add job type here, or stand in a, or drive in a, that will enable you to do other things, right? That will enable you to later down the line look at transitioning that job into something that is more of a career, or at least that pays for this. You can do this as a side hustle until that takes off. Do you know what I mean? That allowing yourself not to give up on your dream, but to be a bit more realistic rather than blindly heading for what your heart wants. Sometimes we need to be practical. Sometimes we need to be practical, right? We genuinely do. Sometimes we can follow our dreams, and it's great to follow your dreams as long as you've got your bills paid in the process. And then the final card is the destination card, okay? And that is, okay, it's the 6 of Pentacles reversed. Okay, you may need help. You may need help. You may need, how can I put this? This card is about charity, right? And I'm not saying that you are a charity case. I'm not saying that you will need charity in terms of begging for help from a food bank, or, you know, getting people to pay your bills and things for you. What I'm saying is, there are certain times in life where you need to admit that you need help, right? You need to admit that you need support. In this instance, it's almost like you need to reach out. If you've got family members, friends, open up and say to people, I know I've been saying that I will only accept a job as a portrait painter. However, I'm 3 months behind in my mortgage. I need to pay my bills. If you know of a job going in your factory, hospital, office, kitchen, restaurant, whatever jobs are, then please let me know and I'd be interested in an interview. Right? This is that moment. This is saying your destination right now is, I think you need to realize, and this reading feels like it's part of it, you need to realize right now, my darling, that and I hate this because I don't want to be the one that is going to dampen your spirits on a spiritual path or an artistic path or something that your heart desperately needs. But sometimes the thing that our heart desperately needs isn't going to pay the bills in a practical sense, right? It isn't. And sometimes we have to be realistic. And it's that thing of, you know, the meme where, I don't even know if it's a meme, but you know that idea that our grandparents and great-grandparents, although they were able to walk into almost any job because everything was different, economies were different, workplaces were different, there was still that thing of, I just need any job. And this generation are far more likely to say, I need the right job. The difficulty is that at the moment, in this environment, financial environment, worldwide environment we find ourselves, the right job may not exist. There may not be somebody willing to pay you for your time, your training. I know I've done 30 years of tarot, right? I've done 30 years of this. People don't even pay $2 here on YouTube for my skills and my expertise. Now, I don't mind that, right? I'm not here to make money in that way. I'm here because this, being a tarot reader and sharing what I do, gives me fulfillment in other ways. But there is a little bit of me that is like, do you know what? At events, I can go and charge XYZ per reading. At private readings, I can go and charge XYZ. For the amount of experience, expertise, and knowledge that I have within this field, I should be charging this high amount as a professional, right? The reality is, very few people that work within the arts get paid what they're due, right? And I include in that people within the medical fields and other fields as well. It's just the way of life. Sometimes the things that we are called to do, the things that we are asked to do from the universe, are not the things that our society deems worthy to pay a living wage. And that's just how things are. And so that may well be, my darling, the same for you. Okay, I hope that helps. I really, really do hope that helps. And again, in no way is this aimed anywhere at you, my darling, because I know that you very kindly sent through a super chat, and that is greatly appreciated. But sometimes we need to realize the world that I live in currently, right, is not a world where I am able to pay my bills, pay rents, pay mortgages, pay for car, pay for everything else by being a professional tarot reader. It's just not a feasible thing. So my calling, I channel it into this. And sometimes in life, that's the decision we have to make. And that may well be similar for you, my darling. Whatever your calling is, whatever your passion is, you might have to find a different way for you to be able to do that and still find that emotional fulfillment. And I hope that helps. That's going to be your reading for tonight. Here endeth the soapbox lesson. I know, right? Let me have a look in that there chat. Let me know if you can take that, my darling. This is not going how I thought it would go. This is what I mean. Both of these decks, that's why I love both of these decks, right? This one and the Fifth Spirit, they are so good at giving you what you need to know, not what you want to know. I bet you were hoping for, actually go and do this, follow your dreams, follow your heart, follow this, go do this, this is wonderful, everything's going to be grand, just keep following and you will get paid mega bucks from XYZ, right? These are realistic decks. These are decks that are steeped in that authenticity. You know, there's a reason why the channel's called this. There's a reason why both channels are called this. And I like, this is authenticity is a starting point for me in my life, right? That was where we start. That is step one, square one on that snakes and ladders board, whatever you want to call it. Step one, square one, step one is authenticity. Everything else is beyond. And so, yeah, I hope that helps, my darling. I really, really, really do hope that helps. Have I just gone past your I saw a second message. I did see it. I'm sure I saw it. No. There you go. Totally receiving what I'm saying. This is it. This is the reason. I don't know why I was suddenly like, nope, I need to rework this spread, because I'm not quite gelling with it the way that I'm gelling with the spread. The layout is a bit round the wrong way for me. But that's the same with everything. No problem at all, my darling. No problem at all. Yes. Good. Good. But listen, if you need any job right now, don't feel bad about going into ... add job title here. That may not be your qualification, right? Whether that is filling the shelves at an overnight supermarket, pays more than you think, right? Whatever it is, whatever for you is a job that you think, oh, that's not what I can do. If you need to earn money right now, take any job, take anything at all that will get you financially lifted from your current position, right? That is important. You can think about, does it meet all your requirements and your skill set and everything else later. I hope that reading helps, my darling. I really, really do. Right. We're going to squeeze one more squeezed in today. No. You see now, no, I get what you're saying. I have said this myself numerous times, right? There is something to be said for being the struggling artist. However, the world that we increasingly live in, Patricia, the safety nets of years gone by are not what they used to be, right? Money shouldn't be the first consideration. Money has to be the first consideration when money is so tight these days, right? Any job that you can earn enough to pay your rent, your mortgage and your bills, that has to be the number one priority, because we don't have a system that will catch people when they fall through the cracks anymore. The benefit system in this country is barely enough for most people to survive. The social security system in the States is the same. You know, when you've got doctors and nurses and teachers going to food banks, something is fundamentally wrong with our capitalist system. So I wish, hand on heart, I wish that I was able to say, do you know what? Keep following your dreams, keep believing, keep, plod ahead, making that pottery, whatever it is, plod ahead doing your dream, and eventually somebody will come and find your worth. I wish that that was the case, but it isn't. And the reality is we have to pay those bills. In the current climate, that's getting harder and harder and harder. So yeah, I do completely agree. Money comes and money goes. But also, you have to have that basic level first. And the problem is, a lot of younger people struggle to get that basic income. A lot of younger people will never get on that first rung of a property ladder. They will never get on to do, all of those things in life that were important. This I agree with 1,000%. Every single job will bring experience that will help you in the future, right? The reason I'm good at talking on the internet to nobody in front of a camera, the reason that this doesn't bother me particularly is because I've sung in front of 10,000 people at a Pride events. Do you know what I mean? where, like, if I can do that, I can do anything. Getting over that hurdle, that fear, meant that I can do anything. So because of it, this doesn't faze me. I don't get tongue-tied. I am very grateful to have experienced a lot of different careers in my life, some of which were at different levels of professionalism than others. But every single job, every experience we have in life will teach us something, and we can take away and put into a different career. You know, you may be someone that's only ever been a housewife. But what you've done is you've managed a family budget, you've raised, emotionally cared for children, a husband, a wife, whatever it is. You've emotionally cared for people, you've helped bring people up, you've educated them, you have, you know, you've been a cook, a chef, you've managed budgets, you know, there is a reason why the terms domestic goddess, but there's a reason, you know, why different terms were rebranded, because any job, right, restocking shelves in Tesco's, you have to have an eye for detail. You have to make sure the labels are all the right way round. You have to turn up on time. You have to, you know, be punctual, do your job. You have to have whatever your job is, there are skills that you can transfer. And that's what's important. Do you know what I mean? That's what's really, really important, is being able to take those skills and say, I know I'm trained to be, as Culture Envy, right? You're trained to be a software person, right? Computery does. I don't know what it is. I don't know, like, I don't know coding in spreadsheets. I don't know what that is. Sounds important. Sounds Excel wordy thing. Don't know. Right? But I am sure any job you'll be able to use the skills and knowledge and things that you learn through coding, whether that is or whether it's the other thing that you do while you're coding, that other doodah, the other bit, because I know all about coding and spreadsheets. Do you know what I mean? Right? Whatever it is, there will be things in there that you can apply to almost any job. I am sure of it. I just don't know what coding and spreadsheets do. I'm not good with spreadsheets. Anyway, oh, thank you. Yeah, doodah. Thank you, doodah. Yeah, that's great. Thank you, doodah. Oh. Look what I've got to put up with. Look what I've got to put up with. Look. Filling my chat with doodahs. Hang on. What did I see? You do. Ask a question then, Nanette. Ask a question. Thank you. It feels like you're in a room with you chatting. Thank you. Sometimes, sometimes it feels a little bit weird. Because the chat is obviously like it's a delayed chat, but I also am of the age where we grew up, and the thing that was, I mean, it wasn't really something I got into, but friends did the CB radio-y thing, right? And the I'm sure that's what it was called, like the CB radio-y thing. And so they would do the thing where they're like, oh, chatty over, and then you'd wait, and then there'd be a response over. So friends did that. I kind of did it a little bit, but I wasn't ever into that, and we didn't, you know, I didn't have the money, and my parents didn't have the money to go and buy me XYZ CB radio equipment and giant antenna things for something that was a non-hobby. But you get used to kind of that delayed response thing. Anyway, you fell into your door and hurt your elbow. I'm so sorry. You took ibuprofen, but you're hurting again, and it's been almost 3 hours, so you can't take it again for another hour. Can I tell you what to do for pain? I don't know, to be honest. This is a thing. Again, this is not medical advice, but Hollins just put a very, very good and valid thing in the chat. Tylenol, paracetamol, you can take as well as ibuprofen. Again, if you're on any other medication, check what you're on. Speak to a GP, a doctor, a medical practitioner type person. A first primary care provider, is that what they're called in the States? I don't know, they've all got different names, but yeah, something like that. Tylenol you can take with ibuprofen. I know that because I used to take both, but I take something else now. So you can take that as well, and be careful not to overdo ibuprofen, because I think it can have effects on your ... add body part here. I think it's liver. I think that's the thing that can kind of struggle if you take too much ibuprofen. I can't remember off the top of my head. Again, I have a whole pharmacist's back catalogue of pills that I have to take on a daily basis to allow me to function. So I have to be very careful with making sure that none of the 39 or whatever, it's not 39, but whatever the number of pills that I take don't kind of, interact with something else I'm taking. So, which is always fun. It's always fun. Tylenol can affect your liver. Brufen can affect your liver and kidneys, and they can all affect lots of parts. So just be careful. Just be careful. But yeah, I hope that helps. Feel better soon, Nanette. The other thing you can do is obviously all of the old wives' tale stuff. So a heat compress. So if you've got, hang on, what body part did it say that you'd hurt? Is it your elbow? Hurt your elbow. So yeah, a warm compress, a warm heat compress thing. So things like a hot washcloth under the towel, or a hot tea towel, or a small hand towel that you put under a hot tap, and then you wring out and then just have that on the area. That's always very good. Or if heat doesn't help the pain, the ice packs are then good as well, depending on which type of pain and stuff it is. So try one. If that doesn't help, try the other. An ice pack of peas, that's always good, depending on how you fell. It could be that if ibuprofen is helping. Sorry, my mum and dad called it Brufen. I've got no idea why, but it's stuck with me ever since. Maybe that was its old trade name in the UK. I don't know. But anyway, if ibuprofen's not helping, a bag of peas. If you haven't got an ice pack, a bag of peas might help. If it's something that's swelling goes down with cold. If it's something, if I remember rightly, things that are dull, achy pains, like period pains and other things like that, some gut type pains, they can be alleviated with warm compress. So hot water bottles, hot towels wrung out, things like that. But generally speaking, if it's something that you've hit and it's inflamed, then cold can help that inflammation go away. It's almost like if you think about all your red blood cells that are going, they're all like, ow, hurt my elbow. All the red blood cells are going, right, we're going to go and repair the elbow. And they make it swell up to repair. Then you get the doodah and you get the ice pack and you put that on, and the ice pack then makes all those little white blood cells go, oh, run away. In my head, that's how it works. But in terms of medications, again, I am not a doctor and have no idea at all what medicines you may be on or what contraindications there are. So my advice to you would be an ice pack if it's inflamed, or a warm pack if it isn't, and go and see your ... primary care provider. I think that's what they're called. Your doctor, your GP, as soon as you can. Or do you have something? We've got a thing here in the UK, right, called NHS Direct, and it's a phone number, and they've got I guess doctors and nurses and people, medical personnel, that you ring and you basically go, hello, it's not an emergency, my arm isn't falling off, but I did fall over and bang my elbow. Should I maybe try heat or should I try cold? I've had a night, look at me with a phone here, yeah, modern phone. Should I try heat or should I try cold? And I've had an ibuprofen, but it's wearing off. Can I take a Tylenol? I don't know if you've got something like that in the UK, in the US, sorry, or not. I don't know. But if you have, give them a ring. There's a name that Amber Reed uses, Meditech. I don't know what that is. It might be a phone company. I don't know. I've got no idea. Ask a doctor. Sorry. Hope that helps. The answer is no idea. But yeah, hopefully that helps. Lisa forgot her word again, Duda. I always forget my words. My words are redonkulous. I either mispronunciate them or I forget them all entirely. I regularly forget my worms. But that's just me. That's just who I am. Welcome to my world. And that is it. That is it. My world is now going to become a little more IRL rather than OL, online. I'm not sure how that works. But I will see you all on Tuesday. All being well. Look, my voice has survived. I did wonder whether speaking for 3 hours non-stop, whether my voice would survive, but it has done, which is grand. So I will see y'all on that there Tuesday evening. With a caveat, if my lovely gorgeous husband chooses to do something else on his birthday, which is Tuesday, then I will let you all know and I will reschedule the live for Thursday evening. It all depends if he wants to go out for dinner or not. Currently, he says he doesn't want to, but he may change his mind. So I will let you all know. Okay, as soon as I know, I'll let you know. If you see it pop up, we'll be going live. If you don't see it pop up, I will put a little thingy on the doodah. Forgot the word. I will put a thing out on the thing, on the members post, on the community post. I will put a statement out or something, or a video or something. I hope that helps. Right then, what there is? There you are. Then give them a ring. Give them a ring. Yes, give them a ring. And you've got an app on your insurance company. You can talk to them about what to do. Yes, do that then. Take medical advice from there. Forget everything that we've said here because it's not medical advice. Go and do that first to make sure that you're not going to, take a Tylenol and sprout an extra head or something. I don't know why these things work. But anyway, thank you very much, everybody. I will see you all soon and we'll see you next week. If not... well, no, next week is Tuesday, isn't it? Yes, Tuesday. If not, I'll see you on Sunday or one day in between. Members on Friday. I'm going to go now because my brain has stopped. And I will see you all very, very soon. And as we always say, stay you, stay you. You're watching my brain literally melt in real time. Stay you, stay true, stay authentic. And I will see you on the next one. And goodbye.
They're witches.
So, apparently I'm a witch.
Because she's a witch.
I'm the love witch.
I am a witch.
I am a witch.
I'm a witch.
Sally just came out.
Now the witch is back.